So
All
what
right.
is up? We are doing a special edition of the Commentator's Curse. The reason being is that it's Smash Summit 3 season, and we're
Mhm.
here with one of the finalists, Edgard. How do you pronounce your last name?
It's Shelby. You
Sh-
make it sound like a girl name. Shelby. It's Shelby, dude.
Shellaby. Well, last names could be if it. Well, we're here with n0ne. How are you doing today?
Not bad. And you guys?
Doing well. How about you, Blur?
I'm amazing right now. I am really excited to see how the Smash Summit final voting goes down. For those just joining us, there is now we're approaching the final day, the final hour, the final 24 hours of the Smash Summit voting, and the finalists are the Moon, Ice, n0ne, and Wizrobe. We've already talked to Wizrobe and Moon in interviews. Now we have n0ne joining us. That's a straight 50-50. Two make it, two don't. So if you like any of those players, make sure to participate. n0ne, I'm sure you wish you kind of made it through the earlier phases, so you'd be done with it. But right now, I mean, one last push, 18 more hours, and these votes, 39K votes, put towards your name for people trying to get you in. How does that make you feel, first of all?
That's it's pretty crazy. Lots of voting. I was kind of salty. I was feeling out of it earlier, but I slept it off. And one last push. Canada wants it, so why not?
Would you be the first Canadian to qualify if you got in? I'm trying to remember.
Nah, Kage's the first.
Oh
I'm
yeah,
the
that's right.
Yeah, people love Kage because that was a Smash Summit 1, right?
Yeah. He went to Smash Summit 1. I fell out this round. So this is actually like groundbreaking to me that I made it past this round.
Mhm. Dang, it must be. I'm glad. Like I was telling the other candidates, I'm glad I'm not in your shoes right now because I understand that's really stressful and very emotionally involving. Because I know you mentioned you just want to play melee and you just want to like combo people and have fun, and so it's definitely a different dynamic for you.
I
Um,
mean, it's not really about that, right? Because these are like the top of the top, right? So you can't really just that's easier said than done. But yeah, like obviously like a little bit of that, but like more than that, it's just the practice. I heard it's really good. It's like a really good experience overall. And the leveling up when I was in SoCal for it was in Genesis, and right now when I was at Evo. It helped me out a lot, so like that's kind of like a side thing I want for me. But yeah, definitely like the overall experience.
So I guess like for you, I've read your Red Bull article, but I guess kind of break the ice a bit with the audience. You have a unique story. You started internationally, right? And so, what was it like to start your journey where you were in Nicaragua and then you moved to Canada and you started improving? Do you want to just kind of highlight for us, kind of the path of improvement for you?
It's definitely been exciting. I never thought that I would be where I am right now. I remember watching all of you guys on YouTube, and I would watch you guys on YouTube because Twitch wasn't a thing back then. Eventually, Twitch was a thing, but I was like, yeah, I hope I get to play these guys one day. I'm gonna go back to Canada, and it's eventually gonna happen. And that was like 7 years ago, right? Like this was a long time ago. Eventually, it did happen, so it's been great that I've been playing everyone. Everyone's got to know me. Everyone would literally tell me, "What is Nicaragua? Is that a farm?" Like no one would ever hear that word, right? Like no, this is true. I'm not lying.
I want to apologize for all of the North American ignorant people out there. Some of us know what Nicaragua is, dude.
So yeah, that happened, and I've been repping them, repping Latin America. So it's been good. There are not too many people doing that. So yeah, it's been good, and my English isn't too garbage anymore, so that's good too.
Wow, like I didn't know like you like I was under the impression that like you were just a natural at speaking English. So I'm impressed. That's something new that I've learned today. Um,
Well, the thing is, I was raised in Canada, right? Like English was my first language. Like I was raised in Toronto, but eventually, when I was still a kid, my parents they made a bit of money. They saved up a bit of money, and they wanted to do a business back home. So we eventually moved back. and it was 11 years over there. So Melee came out like 1 year late after I left Canada or something like that. I forget. But yeah, since then, like Melee has been happening for me until recently, right?
How'd
Like in
you
Canada.
how did you discover the game in Nicaragua? Like how'd you figure out there was a scene? How'd you start playing? Like how did young Edgar get into Melee?
I basically got ripped off. I bought a GameCube Plus Melee. Like that stuff is really expensive back home. It's because it's hard to get on. It's hard to get. So I literally paid like I don't know like $600 for a GameCube with Melee,
Holy
and
God.
that's back in the day, you know. So
Nowadays, that's
got-
actually that's not that different. That's kind of normal nowadays, right? Because
Yeah.
Well, even
images.
then, it's a lot larger because we're complaining about $90 Melee right now, which is probably roughly the going rate for like if you get it at a store. $600 is absurd. I mean, I gotta.
No, I got it actually. I remembered. I got it with Luigi's Mansion.
Well, so
Uh,
that doesn't really
yeah,
matter
something-
because it's Luigi's Mansion.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, hey, by the way, Tapo, right now it's $200 on Amazon. The price has been going up.
Yeah, but like
Every day.
you can Craigslist and go on GameStop when they have it for like 60.
Yeah, there's some seconds.
Yeah.
Anyways, okay, so you got ripped off. You $600 for a GameCube a minute. Like, okay, go on.
Yeah, and then I played it. Eventually, nothing exciting happened. I just played it casually. I myself, like even back in the day, I discovered that you could L cancel with Link. When you do the down air, I just thought that the more times you pressed L, the faster he L canceled. That was my like thing of it. That was an accident. I discovered it. But I don't know. Eventually, my GameCube died, and I got a new one after. And I found my like longtime friends. I hadn't seen them in a while, and trash talk happened here and there. And we met up. I invited them over to my house, and I was still playing Link back in the day. Eventually, he was too slow. I picked up Young Link. I thought he was overall better, and that's where it went from there. I picked up Mario after that. I had Ganon. I even picked up Game and Watch. I thought he was like really good but weird. And then Falcon, and then I used to travel a lot to different cities because over there, I always thought like since the beginning, even before checking Smashboards and all of that, I always knew that the way to get good was to go out of the pond, like to play new people. And that's what I did. I started traveling to different cities all over Nicaragua. Eventually got to Costa Rica, Honduras. I traveled a lot of Central America. And yeah, that's how it came to be.
And
So, you started traveling for competitively before looking at Smashboards and any of that?
No. Like I was playing, right? And then I would like read on Smashboards, and then that kind of helped me to start traveling. But in 2010, I think it was 2010 or 2009, I did come back to Toronto for visiting. So the top players here actually knew about me before anyone knew about me, I guess.
You know, I remember like I don't think many people know this, but I remember you used to be into racing heavily.
Yeah, I was really dumb. I was really ballsy and not really good times. Lots of crazy stuff happened, but I'm more mature now, so that's all in the past.
All right, tell me something you're willing to say on stream. What do you mean by crazy times, n0ne? Do we have talk? To have a talk? I want to know these stories.
Dude, it's just there's a lot of trash. Like that's the way I think third world countries work. The trash talk was real, so okay. I know you shouldn't be DUIing, never do it, but that's kind of common in those countries,
Yeah.
drinking and driving. I would like go out with friends, and I don't know, they would talk about them in the car and whatever. So for a Mother's Day, it's May 30th in Nicaragua. It's a different date over there. We left a bar. We were like bar hopping or something. I wasn't drunk. I was just like buzzed. And this guy got on my nerves. And highways are one lanes, so it's one lane going, one lane coming. And this guy pissed me off. It was raining, and I advanced on him, and then I fell into a ditch. And I don't know how I didn't die, honestly. Like the ditch was pretty deep. And yeah, stuff like that.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
That was my Mother's Day present to my mom.
Oh, Mama Shelby.
Mama Shelby.
How'd she take it, dude?
Let's not talk about it. Let's not talk about it.
Well, put it this way: she's happy that he's still living and can do this interview, and we'll leave it at that.
Yeah, definitely. I think she got even more angry when we fixed the car, and then 1 week later I crashed again. So I think that was worse. That's true. This is true. I'm not like making any of this up.
1 week later,
I
well,
mean, I
you
was
gotta
excited.
you gotta adapt, dude. You gotta adapt.
Yeah, I guess I was excited to driving again. That I forgot to L cancel or something. It was bad. It was bad.
All right.
So I guess we can kind of see influences of that in how you learn Captain Falcon, then, right?
That was actually all coincidence. I didn't pick up Falcon just because he races cars. That's me. Like I never
No,
thought that.
I mean more so in like how you experiment and learn, right? You're not scared. It seems like.
Yeah, I guess, yeah, definitely.
Well, was it Blur? I think I kind of interrupted you.
Yeah, I mean, so that blows my mind that you had the street racing days, and so you stopped. You started playing Melee, and like, what's the timeline here? So when did you first start? And then you got better, but like, it took you a while to start really winning in Nicaragua, right?
Well, okay, let's remember. I finished high school. I got into university in 2006, 2007. So I raced for like a couple of years. Like in 2008, I was playing, and yeah, like I took like a year to eventually like be the best, I guess, in Nicaragua. A year, like this was like intense. I've been really dumb. I've done a lot of things I regret. I would skip school a lot for Melee, like all of that. Never skip school. Don't copy me. That's a bad idea. But I would legit like skip school and then be playing Melee all day basically, and then come late to the house. They would think I went out partying, and no, I was playing Melee. So I would play Melee for like 10 hours a day or something.
Been there, done that, dude. I get it.
I've definitely done that too.
Dude, how'd you
Yeah.
mellow out? What happened? What like?
How'd I what? Sorry?
How'd you mellow out? Like you went to Canada, you became like all this stuff, street racing, like the party life, n0ne, like.
Well, I was just I don't know. I was pretty I don't know. I couldn't stay in one place too much, so the car racing was kind of part of that. And then Melee kind of got me out of my dark days, I guess, because I was like busy trying to get better and better. And then eventually, with all the drinking and everything, I had to get a gallbladder operation. I had like gastritis. I got really sick and stuff. So I had a gallbladder operation, and that kind of like helped me tone down because like you naturally can't like go all out now. You have to take care of your body now. So that's like life experience advice from me to everyone in stream.
That's like one of the most painful surgeries. My dad had to have it.
Yeah, I was told like it wouldn't hurt, and actually the anesthesia it did like complications, and I was like under the effects of whatever they sleep you with, and I remember cursing the doctor because he said it wouldn't hurt or whatever. I
He
don't
told
know.
you, isn't it like known to be extraordinarily painful? I thought it
But
was.
apparently I was talking to the wrong people because they said it didn't hurt because it's with anesthesia, right?
I mean,
Yeah.
you're dealing with street racers that probably crashed a lot of times, and they have a ridiculously high like pain tolerance.
They just die. Yeah.
They just take it.
Yeah.
So am I getting this right that Melee saved your life? Is that what happened?
Definitely, and this is not corny at all. It definitely got me away from all the car stuff, and because after that, like there was times I would crash, and then you crash, and this is natural. You crash, and then a few days later you get into your car, and you don't want to drive. You're legit scared, like you're actually trembling. You don't want to drive because you don't want to go through that anymore. So that wouldn't happen to me, but eventually it did, and I switched from gasoline to diesel. Diesel isn't a thing here in North America, but it's naturally slower, it's stronger, and that helped me to like control my foot, I guess. So
So
then
you're
Melly got.
so you're saying that you were this wild, crazy man, and then you settled down and you married Melee and became a good husband to it.
I guess, yeah, you can put it that way.
That's actually amazing. It's amazing because Crimson Blur. I don't think we have anyone that's remotely close to like n0ne's story. Can you think of anybody?
I mean, I know a lot of people who Melee saved their life. I know that.
No, I'd be like,
But not quite like that. Not in Nicaragua, street racing. My man's going nuts, and now he's in Canada on Red Bull articles. That's pretty different.
Crazy.
That's a pretty crazy. It's like I bet if you asked yourself at that age and you looked at yourself now, like that level of difference of a person is pretty ridiculous.
Yeah, yeah. It's it all has to do with the way because when I was raised in Toronto, like I had a normal like Canadian life, but the moment we went to Nicaragua, like life is a lot different over there, so that kind of messed me up, I guess. But good thing I didn't die, and like I'm looking forward. I'm still alive, and I fixed a lot of stuff about myself now, so that's good to know. Thank God.
So speaking of your Nicaraguan heritage, one thing I gave props to you on Twitter, and one thing I like a lot is I was just browsing the Spanish language content because I'm trying to get my Spanish better, and I was looking at like old VODs and stuff, and you're still out there like really supporting the homies out there. Like I saw you like did like 2 or 3 interviews, like of course you do the commentary stuff. Like, and what can you tell me more about the Latin American scene? How it's changed ever since you left, and like what you've done to try to help grow it, remotely.
Well, for one thing, it's definitely grown because I would travel. I remember from Nicaragua to Costa Rica to play the top Costa Rican their Duff, and it was basically just to play one person. So that's why I always give people advice that want to get better at the game to travel. Dude, you guys don't know what you have and people that other people like desire. I would travel for one person. Now imagine you guys. You can travel for whole region communities. So you definitely got that on your side. That and like people are playing much more now in Nicaragua, for example. There are tournaments now. There are streams. I saw a couple of streams like a few weeks ago. So apparently people have been watching. I guess yeah. I guess like if you have problems of like if your scene is kind of low on representation, I guess you just have to find that one person that can really help you out. Because I don't know. I think I've been doing that for the Latin American scene and for Canada as of late. So yeah, that and it's definitely getting bigger down there. Definitely.
Yeah.
You were able to go back not too long ago, and how you're probably one of the few people that can actually speak to the behalf of the upper level talent of players like Dark, and like how good would they do in North American events?
You guys saw this guy beat me in winners. He's like legit good. Like I wasn't sandbagging or anything. He caught me off guard. He legit caught me off guard. I was cold, and then I went to warm up, and then it was convincing, right? But this guy is good. They just lack tournament experience. I don't know how it would go for them if they were here, because that's definitely you can be really really good. I actually played with lots of people that are really good, like in the States. Like this guy, I was playing this guy. He had me super impressed. Cypher Phoenix from VA. He's old.
Oh yeah, he's my homie, dude. We used to be training partners, me and him.
Yeah, we played friendlies when he helped me. This guy is a legend with the stuff he does in friendlies. I'm like, dude, how have I never seen this? And then he tells me he gets nervous, and then like, it affects performance a lot, right? So I think like tournament mindset and how controlled you are is what carries in the end, because that's what determines everything. And if you don't have that, like, it's gonna be hard for you. So speaking of that, I don't know how like Dark would do in in an environment like that, basically.
Yeah, I mean, it seemed like probably one of the best tech skill players, and it just seems like he didn't know like how to DI your combos and do things that you need that top level experience. So, this year, last year, I would say like 2015 was largely a year you started getting more opportunities to kind of showcase yourself. And 2016 is kind of where everything kind of came together for you. Was there anything kind of significant that kind of happened that just something clicked, or did you just kind of know that like if I get my opportunities up, like I'm really this good?
Basically, just I went back home to Nicaragua for vacations, and my Smash homies just told me to stop playing like a dumbass, because like playing for style is cool and all, but like I was going too try hard on style. So I've been learning how to, like, I still play that way, like that's the way I play. I like it, but like balancing it out, like you have to have like the same way before. I legit thought like this was something I thought that in melee you did not need shield. You could literally dash dance and take hits here and there, but eventually you could win everything. But no, like I came here to learn defense game as well. Like I've been working a lot on my defense game, and yeah, that definitely has been helping me a lot. The styling out not too much and the defense game.
That, that's good. And I mean, obviously, a lot of improvement has happened in that time. For you, like, do you have any major goals for like the next year or so? Next 2 years as far as Smash goes? Like, obviously you've been on the rise, but like, what's next for n0ne?
Keep working on my consistency. That's the main thing, because like there are legit days. Like I'm not the type to, like, you ask me, are you gonna win this tournament? And I say yes. I'm not that type. I go more on how I feel on the day. If I'm playing like really good, I'll say yeah, I think I can take it. If I'm playing bad, I'll just say I'm playing bad. But consistency, that's my thing. Because on a good day, I feel like I can do a lot of stuff. Like I'm really really up there. But on a bad day, it kind of sucks for me as well.
Mm. What was it? I mean, like, so like a lot of the other top players, they're like slowly discovering things that like make them play consistently. Like Mango realized that he needs sleep, something that he never realized. I know that sounds like really ridiculous, but are there things you're starting to learn about yourself? You mentioned, taking care of your body, but have you recognized like, oh, like if I do this, like I tend to perform better, and if I do this, I tend to perform worse?
I lately discovered like a couple of tournaments ago that this is true, and people say, how is this possible? But I play better when I'm hungover. I've said this a lot of times. But I recently discovered that although that's true, I burn out really quickly as compared to actually sleeping, like a normal human being. So if I sleep, I might take a little bit longer to warm up, but I do play I can play good for longer amounts of times, So I'm trying to like kind of find the balance. I'm testing stuff out, and yeah, ultimately finding the perfect balance.
So, from my experience, I've heard people say they play better with high, they play better with drunk, they play better with hungover. From my experience, in those situations, a lot of those same people, like they more like, let's say when they say they play better when high, well, they always practice when high, right? Or they always do play at Smash Fest high, right? And so it's
We're
easier
going to
for
talk
them.
about getting high when one of the event sponsors is weed.
Yeah, you
Weed
should cut
maps,
this.
right?
You should cut this.
No,
Or no, I don't know
I'm
if
totally
you're right.
messing.
I can do whatever I want.
We can do whatever we want.
Anyway, yeah, shouts to Weed Maps. But like, like they always practice that way, so it's only makes sense that like translates over. It's kind of like how Mango started using music because he was always a streamer and he always played with music on. Do you think like was that do you think that's related to why maybe you play better hungover? Like why do you think that was a thing that you noticed?
Honestly, when I'm hungover, I'm more paranoid, so I think twice about the things I do. So I guess I stay a bit more safe. I don't know, but there's definitely something in there that like it helps me. It definitely puts me like it gives me like an edge or something. It's kind of hard to explain. It's like I said, it's all about finding your comfort zone. Like you don't have to be hungover to play better. That's like who's ever said that, but it does work for me. Other stuff works for different people, but yeah, I don't know. There's no real explanation. It's just like I feel a bit better.
That's interesting because it kind of makes sense though, because one of your biggest things that you mentioned yourself was like, hey, like I need to play less dumb and like play a little bit more reserved, and I could see how being a little bit more paranoid makes you kind of brings in the reins a little bit. Do you think that's the reason why?
It could be, yeah, definitely. I've also noticed that sometimes I'm not a salty person. I'm not that kind of person. But if there is someone that I really want to beat, I do like stay a bit more conservative, and it does work, and that's good, obviously, right? Because like thinking outside the box is always good, but sometimes going too crazy is bad. So it definitely helps me out. I need to learn how to be that way all the time, like to like give it my 100%, like care all the time about the right stuff. Sometimes I care about the wrong stuff and it hurts me. So that's basically what I've been working out recently.
I see. And you still got to get your revenge match on me.
On you?
Yeah, you're gonna destroy me this time around. But anyway,
You saw what I did to Ladandis, man. You know I'm good for Sheik.
yeah,
Now,
I mean, I did remember. I came right at the end of it, and I was wondering what the hell happened. So they give
yeah,
context for everybody. I think it was at CEO 2016, and then you guys did a best of 5 money match, and I came at the very end.
yeah,
And I literally saw n0ne with 4 heads left, and Ladandis like dying on his last stock, and I was like, damn, like it was a
yeah,
4 stock, right?
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, but that's the inconsistency I'm talking about. Like I did that to him there. I know it's not tournament or whatever, but
it's a money
then the
match
next
still.
day, sorry?
It's
Yeah, it was a money match. But the next day I play him. I guess I got caught off guard. I didn't know I was gonna play him, but then I didn't do too hot versus him, you know. So, but that's what I mean. Like when I'm playing good, like my highs are way up there, but then my lows are low when I'm playing bad.
So I think one of the sweet things is that you have it seems like a pretty solid home, a place you call home in Nicaragua, but you have this amazing Canadian community that wants to pour out for you. So like how does that community work out for you? What's their interaction like with Canada?
I gotta call him out on this one. At the beginning, it sucked. Anything I said, no one would do. Everything was wrong because of the way I play, blah, 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 this and that, whatever. But I guess with time, people started actually seeing the coherence in my actions, I guess. Because sometimes something looks pretty crazy, but it's actually not. Sometimes it's actually like pretty legit optimal, and it just looks crazy, but it's actually not. So I guess after people started studying me and seeing what I do and what I say, well, sometimes not what I say it in the wrong way, but people have been giving me like I don't know what's my English sucks, but like
Props.
giving me the props, like the respect I deserve, I guess. So like now it's going good. A lot of people look up to me. I actually mentor a lot of players in the Toronto scene. I help them a lot, and it's going nicely now. So I definitely appreciate all of them and all the help, the support they give me. Definitely.
Do you think for Latin American players like out there, I mean, I'm sure you serve as like a role model for them, for because they're in a position where they're thinking, how do they get better? Is it even possible in a smaller scene?
Mhm.
Can you give them any sort of advice on how to accomplish that?
Like right now, or like when I see them? What do you mean?
Like right now, as in like if you saw a Nicaraguan player or any Latin American player right now, and been like, they're in a smaller scene, though growing. How to manage getting better in that sort of situation. You spoke on that. You were able to travel a lot.
Yeah.
Is that like the first step?
Traveling, yeah, definitely like playing new people is not the first step, right? But it's one of the most important steps eventually. But I think another thing that people get wrong a lot is when you analyze matches. I notice this a lot. People analyze matches sometimes to beat the same person in their region. So they want to analyze the other person's mistakes, the other person's flaws, the other person's holes. And I don't think you should be doing that kind of analyzing, because what you should be looking out for is your gameplay, like your holes, like where you messed up, where you could have done something better. So you should be looking at you. So basically, if you want to improve, don't improve just to beat that one person, but try to improve to have like a universal better level against everyone else, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Wow. Because I think that's like a step ahead of most people, because a lot of people don't even bother doing match analysis.
No, like I do tell, like, before that, obviously try to get as much content recorded as you can. Like that's obviously before that. But once you get there, like try doing what I said.
Well, let's see. What was that? I'm pretty sure the summit environment, but like, what would you like to do there? Because it seems like, you're from Canada, and unfortunately, we have this perception in the community that, it's mostly, if you're not US, like, they're not going to give you too much attention unless you're like AMSA or Armada. But like, what do you want to showcase about yourself?
I guess like right now, I guess people are seeing that there's actually personality behind the stone coldness. People always think like I'm a murderer or something. I have no emotions or whatever. But that's just part of the game, you know. Like outside of the game, I'm talking to someone. I'm a normal guy. First, that as always, the sick gameplay. I've never been there, so I can't really. I haven't like when something is happening. I never really watch it like all days. I watched like little pieces of it, so I can't really say too much about it. But definitely, yeah, like give back to the people with personality, the gameplay. I was saying I don't want to play Mafia legit because I'm not into like those kind of games. But for the people, I'll try getting into it as well. Sorry, and yeah, give back as much as possible.
Dude, I will like buy you many beers if you can like screw over the blur.
No, no.
Well, yeah, for sure. If I make it in, I'll watch videos on YouTube and stuff. I'm gonna be legit. I closed Twitch when Mafia was happening because like I didn't find it like exciting or whatever. But people have been saying like there's something behind it, and if I make it in, I'll actually look it up and be excited for it.
Have you ever played any of those kind of games like Resistance or Mafia or like I don't know the Wolf version of it?
Actually, no, but that must be part of the reason because like I'm from somewhere else, right? Like it's
Yeah.
not actually not because I never wanted to. It just I never got used to playing it, you know.
Yeah, that
It's
makes
hella
sense.
fun, bro. It's hella fun. So, one thing I asked the Moon that I was actually curious for you as well is, you're looking at the people who are left in, and who's already gotten in, and we talk about who he could potentially team with. It's very likely that Mango SG are together, Music Armada are together, SF Pew Pew are together, Pluck and HBox are together. Who, if you got in, would you team with for the team?
Who's left?
So that means there's Mafia, there is Duck, there is whoever also gets in alongside with you.
Does Axe have a teammate?
Axe, I don't know who Leffen would team with, and I don't know who Shroomed and Westballs would team with. So who do you want to team with if you got in?
I'm actually down to team with Axe, sorry, because I do have the Ganon, and Ganon Pikachu's pretty good. Axe. Mafia doesn't sound bad either. Peach is good in teams. I don't know who else. Duck, if he doesn't hate Falcon for a day, I can team with him. But yeah, like I do have the Ganon and the Falcon. Like it could cover several matchups and stages. Yeah, I'm actually like I'm not picky, you know. I'm down to team with anyone. But if I had to say one person, I'd actually be down with Axe because Shroomed, I'm not sure how Sheik does. Actually, Sheik doesn't do bad with Falcon either. I could do that if he's down, right?
Actually, like just take a step back. I think you and Nightmare have been teaming together recently, right? And
Yeah.
Is that who you want to team with long term, or what's your plan?
Yeah, I do. We do have like we do good stuff together. Out of all Canada, I was having like a partner crisis. I could never find anyone I had synergy with, and I have been having synergy with him. We're not like a crazy good team. It is on part of us because we never get together to actually practice teams. But we've already been in talks with it. I've recently been getting better at dubs. I do want to get better at dubs, and yeah, like eventually we'll do something, you know. But yeah, he's looking good right now.
Okay, so that's like your plan, I guess, for going into next year. You Nightmare, which I think with the swaggiest, dopest team ever. I think it's a sick team.
He's actually sick. He's sick, but he's like a Marth version of me. Like he sometimes doesn't know when to stop going in, you know. Like
Yeah.
he's kind of similar to me, so I relate to him in that way. But I've been talking to him. We both have to like tone it down a bit. We should do more team combos and less like trying to one hit KO someone or something, you know.
Let's see. It's interesting because I think it's like the opposite for a lot of people. People like because a lot of people they tend to play like too safe and conservative, and they learn that like hey, other characters are kind of bad in certain situations that they can do more. So it's kind of funny that you have to like slow down.
Yeah, it's like I said. I legit think I learned melee like the opposite way than everyone else because in Nicaragua, like if you were like staying too mobile or rolling or spot dodging or get up attacking, we would legit make fun of you. We would unplug your controller and like tell you to leave because we always thought, okay, melee is the game of skill. all right, this is, I don't want to bring hate or anything or whatever, like backlash, but we would legit tell you to go play Brawl. This was like, Melee is a game of skill, we would tell everyone. If you want to roll out a shield, go play Brawl. But if you want a game of skill, you wave that shot a shield. Like, there are ways to, like, do good player stuff, I guess. And then it kind of works like the 20XX version, where if you roll USD or something, you die off the top. It's kind of similar to that. So stuff like that, handicapping myself, and you had to be mobile all the time, doing crazy shit. That was the way to be like legit good, and that's not true at all, right? But like that's what I mean. I learned Melee in a different way than everyone else, and I'm actually learning now to tone it down. And yeah, it's actually the opposite, I think. The real way, I don't know. It's hard to explain, but I definitely learned Melee a different way than everyone else.
That makes sense. I mean, like everybody kind of comes with different things. Like Johnny came from 64, and so he also learned to like never shield. So you kind of see the influences of how other games kind of play a role into it. Do we? So this is like my third interview today, but like I totally forget. I know we talk about your overall goals, but like let's say like something like by Evo 2017. Assuming we have Evo 2017 Blur. I mean, what do you want to accomplish by then?
Take out at least another god.
So how was that moment for you, like when that happened?
I'm very collected, so I didn't really like. You guys saw me. I was like chill. Like, also, I respect Mewtwo King a lot. Like I've always seen him. Like he's one of the big guys, you know, like since forever. So with those guys, I always try to stay respectful with everyone, but I didn't really get that hype, like legit. This is like legit. I was normal. I was until like 5 minutes after, 10 minutes after, I was like, oh cool, I beat Mewtwo King, because everyone was coming up to me telling me. I was actually more hype when I beat Hugo, because he had it coming. He knew that I won the set at Genesis. I just messed up switching back to Falcon. So when I beat him, I was legit, okay, yeah, finally, like this is what was supposed to happen. But Mewtwo King, it was good. I felt good. I was playing really good, and I got my openings. I played the way I usually want to play. That's kind of like playing, not peak, right? But it's me playing how I want to play. And I guess in the end, I was actually more happy about that than the actual win, I guess. I don't know. But I was definitely happy. I'm not going to say that I wasn't happy.
It was a sick moment.
Yeah, definitely. And then the people coming in, like I felt all bruised up after because they actually hurt me. Like they hit my ribs and everything. It hurt. But until after, when I come and watch the VODs, I was like, yo, that looks pretty cool actually. So that was sick.
Do you feel like the Canadian hero now? Like, because I don't know. I mean, I've been to Canada before, but I haven't really been a part of the Smash culture. But like, what you mentioned a little bit of like how they doubted you, but like in terms of like, I think you're probably the best player in Canada right now. Do they kind of see you as a hero, or like what's the perception of like the randoms and the people in Toronto and most of Canada?
I don't personally use Canadian hero because that sounds kind of corny. That sounds something like Kage would say or something. But yeah, I guess like I've been repping them legit. Like I'm using their flag. That's where I've been like getting better. So I'm repping them, and yeah, I guess they could see me that way. I guess they are seeing me that way. Definitely.
Let's see. And let's see. I asked Mafia this question, but who do you want to spend the most time with at Summit 2.5 and Summit 3? Like in terms of playing.
Probably Norwalk, Armada. Every time when the 2 times Armada came, we played a lot. It's definitely chill hanging out with him. Norwalk is always cool. It's a fun time. Who else? There are a few players that I don't play a lot. Like Shroomed, I've only played him that one time at Smash and Splash. Pew Pew, the only times we played are those 2 times in tournament. So I would definitely like to play him a lot more. And yeah, basically everyone. I'm not picky, and I have no exceptions. Everyone.
But oh, go ahead.
So one question I have is, both your characters, Ganon and Falcon. People go through periods of doubt about their, how good they are, and what they're able to do. Of course, everyone knows the story with hacks. Falcon's kind of found a new rise with between you, Wizzy, and Johnny, Gravy, Gatsu, all performing really well. But Ganon actually had a massive slump for a good period of time as Kage drifted into inactivity, right? What can you say to both mains of Falcon and Ganon? How far do you think they can go? Do you think Falcon can win a national? Like, can he win a major? What about Ganon? Like, what can Ganon do? What are their like limitations you see? And is Ganon just a counter pick character? What about Falcon? Like, what are the problem matchups that ultimately you think either hold them back, or what can people do to make it better?
I said this like on the Ganon boards a long time ago, but I always said Ganon and Falcon complement each other. They're like good two characters to use. Depending on characters and stages, they do complement each other. I will say this: Falcon has to trade games because he has bad stages, right? Like he has no like one really good stage. They're all either neutral or they're bad. That's the truth. So you will have to trade games. Yeah, I think they complement each other well. I think Falcon does have what it takes to win a national. You just have to like have luck on your side and not get any phantom hits. And be playing really good. But the only way, since this is always a meme or whatever, but I've 20GX and like the style I have or Johnny has or whatever, they have to be combined. No one style is gonna do it. So until the day comes when someone masters like both styles and alternating both styles in match, like he's gonna do it, whoever that is.
Well, like, I mean, so like one thing that really stood out for me with your Ganon is that it moves really quick. And I kind of think with that like level of tech skill, why did you never really consider Fox or Falco?
I was a Fox when I moved to Toronto. I was a Fox main. Like that was the character I was playing. But then I went to my tournament where I did 2 days after I moved to Toronto. I go to a tournament where I did the 4-star combat, the n0ne bag or whatever people call it on Wii on X. But everyone was playing Fox, and I'm like, no, I hate Dittos. I'm not gonna play Fox. So I'm just gonna go back to Falcon, and it worked. So I was like, apparently, because in Nicaragua they're really good against Falcon. Like my Falcon doesn't do that great in Nicaragua, but yeah, it worked, and I was like, apparently it's working here in North America, so I'll just stick to him. So I got him better, and it's been working.
So in an alternate universe, if like Wii on X, Rain X, and n0ne played different characters, you would have probably been a Fox main.
Yeah, definitely. I was playing Fox. Well, I've never considered myself like just using one character. I was playing Fox at the time, but I think I just used him once that tournament, and now I'm like, oh fuck this, I'm gonna use another character or something like that. I don't remember.
It's so funny. So I mean, like, are you cool with all the other Falcon mains? Because a lot of people think that there's this rivalry kind of going on, but how is it actually?
I have no problems with anyone, honestly. The only Falcon man I do talk a lot with is Johnny. I talked about this on my stream. I don't want to get too much into drama, but there was a video one of them released a while ago, and there's too much drama, but I did address it on my stream. But like, I personally don't have grudges with anyone.
That's fair. You want to go ahead?
So people often compare the Falcons, though. Let's talk about Wizzy, let's talk about John, you. First of all, who do you think is the best Falcon in the world, and why? And my second question, along with how that lines is, how do you view their matchup spread, each of you guys, and like, who's best against each character?
Isaiah probably still, if he was
still the best.
If he was still here. Now, I'm gonna give it. I know people are gonna say, "Oh, Wizzy this, Wizzy that," and it's true. He's been amazing recently. But I'm still gonna give it to Johnny because he's sick, and also because legacy. Because it's true, Wizzy has been doing great, but that's still not. That's still not greater than everything Johnny has done. So legacy, Johnny has that going for him, and he's like still sick, right? Like he does good in everything. Sorry, what was the other question?
Like matchup spreads.
Yeah, like what's Wizzy better at? What are you better at? What's Johnny better at? Where are the weaknesses?
Johnny's good versus Space. He's kind of bad versus Sheik. Well, we all are. All Falcons are bad versus Sheik. That's an impossible matchup. But He's really good versus Spaceys and versus Floaties. I think Wizrobe is better versus Floaties, and I think I'm weird. I think I'm good versus Spaceys, and I'm apparently pretty good versus Sheik and Marth. But like the other matchups, I kind of struggle. Definitely the Pokemon. I suck versus the Pokemon.
Oh, like Pikachu and Jigglypuff, you mean?
Yeah, both of them. I suck versus them. I have to go Ganon or something for them, or Fox. I don't know. I'm thinking on that.
Yeah, I mean,
What do you think?
Go ahead.
What do you think it makes it? What do you think makes it so hard, Jigs and Pika in particular?
I think because they're small, like it's hard to get something started on them. You have to. There are times when you have to stop being so mobile. You have to like actually stop and like go from there. And I have trouble stopping sometimes. Actually, it might be that.
But you're so good at crotch canceling, and that requires you to stop.
Yeah, but I know, like that's the thing. Like sometimes I care about the wrong things. Like sometimes I forget. Like when I'm going super try hard, like I do remember all of these things, but sometimes like legit, like everything escapes me, you know. But yeah, I know about that. Like I get a crouch cancel and then I can go from there. But still, like nowadays, people don't get hit too much by down throw or up throw, whatever. Like they'll get hit, but they won't die.
That makes sense. Do you feel like if you just had like a piece of paper that like reminded you, like that would help you, like not like remind yourself?
I have been doing that. I have some notes on my phone, and before going into matches, I give it a read.
I keep mispronouncing crotch canceling.
Crouch cancel? I call it crouch cancel.
Anyway, what was it? There's actually one other thought I had. You know, like the stream keeps asking for it. I don't know if you can totally pass this question, but like, how old are you actually? Because your Wikipedia says you're 19.
I'm definitely 19.
Okay, cool.
I'm definitely 19.
All right, we'll keep it at 19.
Yeah.
What was it?
Yeah, I think it's interesting. So you said Sheik's an impossible matchup, but you're the only man to beat Music King.
Yeah, that's actually pretty funny.
That's pretty funny to me. What do you think is Sheik Falcon's hardest matchup? Like lately, I've been thinking Falco, but you tell me what you think.
Falco kind of sucks, but it's doable. It's definitely doable. I think the same way I think the Marths are playing the Falcon matchup wrong, I think the Falcons are playing the Falco matchup wrong as well. There's like, they're not totally wrong. It's not like the whole thing, but a few things here and there that they're not using. Like for the Mars, I told Mars have to F-tilt Falcon, and I think Moon's been doing it. I haven't really seen Pew Pew doing it. But yeah, like with Falco, same thing. You have to throw out a lot of F-tilts. Like you have to figure out the timing they like to jump or act out a shield, and then go from there. But Sheik is just a matter of being mobile at the right times and stop moving at the right times, if that makes sense.
So like,
if you figure out, yeah, that's like, I have weird way of explaining stuff. Like I think weird. I don't know nothing about frame data, for example, but I do know a lot about like tendencies and stuff that you should be doing. So if you can find out tendencies about the other player, like when they like to move and where they like to attack, you can go from there, and you can use your movement to counter that, if that makes sense.
So because from my understanding, it's because Sheiks have to be somewhat preemptive on when they think the Falcon's going to approach, so they're preemptive with their tilts and they're defensive, but you like to break the flow of their rhythm. If you can go off beat, then you can catch him doing an F-tilt or doing something preemptive, and then you punish them.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that, and people don't really think about Sheik's full hop. Her full hop is dangerous at low percentage. And that's something else that, because you hit her and then she counterattacks, so that's not good. But yeah, definitely just knowing when to use something. That's basically it. I mean, it's I say impossible. It's not impossible. It's just like pain in the butt, honestly. It's like it's contrary to my playstyle, if that makes sense.
Because you grew up, you mentioned that Nicaraguan playstyle where you're moving, you don't want to shield, you don't want to stop, you just keep going.
Yeah.
And that breaks down every natural intuition you have about the game.
Yeah, the other thing is power shield doesn't really work against her because fair ends too quickly. So you power shield her fair, and then Sheiks are waiting for the roll or for the response, and that's where it gets scary, you know.
That makes sense.
Hmm.
All right, man. Tell us in one fell swoop. Why n0ne for Summit? You know, we learned a lot about you. We learned about your history. Learned about how you like to play Falcon. But sum it up, man. Why n0ne for Summit? Why should people vote for you?
Well, if you guys laugh tonight, you'll definitely laugh more at Summit. I got better English now, so I'll definitely get on that commentary. I'll get on that Mafia, even though it's gonna be a struggle, but I'll get on it. And as always, the crazy Falcon play that you guys are expecting, I'll have that. Also, I recently, after being emo today, I tweeted out something new. I'll do a week long of what do you call it? Of match analysis. So you can get on my stream and ask for match analysis. I'll definitely help you guys with that.
And how do people get priority on that? Is it just anybody, or do they have to do something, or what?
No, they can PM me. I'll write it down. I'll keep track of who's rated me first and this and that. Like, I'll definitely have that all organized.
Ooh. I think Blur's excited for more streamers, right?
Yeah, I'm really happy that you started, and I think that it's good. You know, I hope that after this voting ends, people are going to continue streaming. It's not just like a flash in the pan, because it's really important for Smash to grow. But
No, I'll definitely stream after this so I can talk to the people and stuff. I was streaming before, so I'll definitely keep on going.
yeah,
So you heard it here, folks. He's a man of the people. Okay, well, thank you for coming on, and of course unfortunately, we don't live in a situation where everybody can win, but we wish you, best of luck.
All right, thanks for having, man, and I definitely appreciate it.
All right.
All right, peace, guys.